Okay guys, it's Monday the 30th of July. I have been triggered into a short position on the FTSE 100. So as always, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort of talk you through the overall analysis of the trades. I'm then going to talk you through the trade as it develops. I'll explain to you what it is I'm looking for, and if I'm making any sort of decisions along the way, I will explain them to you. Now, coming into the start of the day with the FTSE, we had sort of dropped off over the weekend. If we go on to the daily time frame, what we can see is we had that price squeeze that we have been looking at for some time now. Now on the Friday, we had a relatively strong rejection coming into this market. I sort of went over this on the Sunday analysis video. I was expecting there to be a stronger drop off than we were seeing on that video, purely because with City Index, with MT4, they were updating their platform to take into account the new ESMA regulations, which are coming about, I believe, on the 1st of August. Now, when I loaded up the charts again on Sunday, we had a nice strong rejection bar, which is really what I was sort of expecting. And what I went over with subscribers on the Friday was that into the close, there was potentially going to be either some strong buying or some strong selling, because we were at the very end of this price squeeze. Now, coming into the start of today, we've had a strong bullish bounce, which I wasn't really looking for, I have to admit, coming into today. The preference was really waiting for this market to press higher, if we did get the press higher, and then start to look for the weakness. Now, with this trade also, what I would say is I am getting into this one maybe a little bit early. So with this pin bar here at 9:35, let's mark this up. This is my entry candle. Now, where it's closed, I would really have liked to have seen it just that little bit lower. But having said that, and I actually sort of debated this when I was getting into the trade, because I knew I was going to have to make the video, and I was thinking to myself, you know, do I want to get in a little bit early and then have to sort of talk around why I'm taking this trade? The reason I'm taking the trade though is solid. It's exactly what I was looking for coming into today. I was looking for really any sort of shorting opportunity. If the market puts in some sort of a bullish rally, I would be happy to start looking for the weakness then coming into the market. And what we've done is we've put in a bullish rally, and it's came up to basically where this sloping support level is just starting to intersect with the candle, and also this strong level of resistance. So I was more than happy to get into this trade. You can see the rejection coming at this sloping resistance level. You know, it's lining up very well. So if you can get 9/10 in those situations, for me personally, if I'm looking at it as a very high probability trade, I don't want to then just skip past it. If it was just a regular trade setup, yeah, I wouldn't touch it. I wouldn't even be interested. But we got the market coming up, we got the rejection, we got the market closing, just sitting on this previous swing with the low just sitting down below it. So again, it was just another little added confluence that I'd be entering just down below the high of that swing point, just sort of opening up the possibility for that sell, at least back down to the MA200 sitting here, and potentially 7671, and potentially a lot further, to be honest, because it's sort of the analysis that I've been looking at for a good number of weeks. I've been sort of watching each of the breaks and trading each of the breaks, but this one it's starting to come potentially right at the ends of the price squeeze. So we'll see how we get on anyway. You know, all this analysis, as I always go over, it may still end up being a losing trade. Let's actually bring the trade up. I'm not sure if you can hear my dog sighing in the background. Sorry guys, I'm not sure if you could hear my dog in the background there. She decided she wanted to come over and try and get a pat. Obviously my talking made her wake up, and she thought it was time to get a belly rub and perhaps go for a walk. So anyway, as I always go over, even when you do all this analysis, still sometimes the market is going to come against you and it's going to stop you out. Part of trading is we're using probabilities. You're using sort of your trading plan, which you know works over the long term, but on a trade-by-trade basis, there's just no way of knowing which trades are going to win and which trades are going to lose. I actually spoke to a guy this morning through email who was asking me a question about using pin bars as an entry, and he'd taken a bullish pin bar, but the market had then fallen. That's all part of trading as well. You know, we don't know on a trade-by-trade basis what's going to happen. We only sort of look to the long term over, let's say, 100 trades. If you're trading plan is going to leave you profitable over that length of time, then you have something worth pursuing. But on a trade by trade basis, I have no idea. That's what makes trading so difficult, because we're dealing with uncertainty every single time we click the mouse. And for a lot of people, it's almost impossible to deal with, because when you then have a losing trade, where does the blame go? You know, we're used to when we fail something, it's our fault. And then we look at ways to improve. But with trading, you can lose a trade and it's perfect. You know, it's just part of what you're doing. And if you hadn't taken that trade and missed the loss, it would have been a bad thing, because you would then be starting to ignore your trading plan. It's really, if you're getting into trading, my personal thought is you are absolutely crazy. But if you find that you love trading, like I did, then once you start learning, there's no turning back. So hoping for this market to press down. Now really, looking at this candle here at 950, yeah, I would have been happy to take this as the entry. Maybe a little bit more of a sort of confluence into the trade. So if we start breaking down below this one, I'll be happier to say sort of previous lows, MA200 as, you know, a minimum target, but I am looking for, what am I looking for? Minimum sort of 7.5 to 8 points on this one. If it does start to sell off a little bit stronger, I will hold on to the trade. Now, another thing worthwhile going over as the trade is running, we're coming into August. If you are just sort of starting out with your trading, or maybe you've been trading for a few months, and you're starting to do well, August is notoriously a very, very difficult month to trade. Traders, they're just like everyone else in the world. They go on holiday. You know, they have families. It might not seem like it, you know, when you see these videos of them on the trading floor screaming and shouting in their funny jackets, but they go on holiday. Even the people that work in banks, they go on holiday, and the markets very often can flatten out. Now, over the last couple of years, it hasn't happened so much on the FTSE 100. August has actually been a really nice trading month, but throughout my sort of trading, August does become very difficult. And what can happen is that, especially if you're a new trader, you can sort of go straight in at the deep end, and the markets can be very choppy. You can just get markets going sideways for days at a time. You end up getting frustrated, you end up taking trades, you end up suffering lots of unnecessary losses. So if you are a new trader, you want to be really careful around August. I've seen so many people blowing up accounts in August, even after I warn them. So I've had people, you know, I've been talking to, trying to help sort of progress. They've been making nice progression, but they then start to look at August as, if I stop trading in August, you know, I'm sort of starting to fall behind again. So I'm just going to keep going. If the market is telling you it's not a good time to be trading, just don't trade. Yeah, it's all about protecting your capital first and foremost, and then waiting for the perfect conditions when you can start to then build. So the market is finding a little bit of support here. The way we'd broken down, the way we'd pressed up to test at this sloping resistance, I would really like to see a nice, strong, easy sell. Now, obviously, when you're in a trade, that's always what you want to see. But because of the way this is lining up, that's what I was sort of hoping for. But let's see if we get this rejection. At present, yeah, I'm in the trade. It's still testing sloping resistance. It's made the pullback into the key level. I would like to see a little break below this 950 as another little added confluence onto the trade. Apart from that, there's not really a lot that I am going to be changing. One of the other things to go over, actually, it's not really related to this particular trade, but it's related to trading in general. And the reason I'm going to go over it is because today, when you go onto YouTube, it sort of brings up the recommended videos, right? And when I went onto YouTube today, it brought up a video that said, typical trading day or something, how I made £6,000 or £7,000 or something. And then you go through the video and it's the guy, you know, living the lifestyle, and he goes outside, he's got all these nice cars, and then he's just, you know, taking a trade and he makes £6,000. One of the best things you can do if you are serious about learning to trade is realize that that is a lot of bullshit. And I'm sorry if anyone doesn't like that sort of language, but it's true, yeah? That's not going to help you learn to trade. It's not real life. I would say people that trade like that and do it successfully, I would say are probably 1% of the 10% of successful traders, maybe even less, to be honest. If you are making that amount of money on a regular basis, it's either because you've came to trading with a hell of a lot of money to begin with, or you are simply, I don't want to say lying, you're simply sort of making things look a lot better than they are. No trader who has got to a level of making £5,000–6,000 in a trade is going to post up, this is my typical day, because it's just not. They know it's not. Trading is a very, very difficult industry, and if you are coming into trading, you shouldn't have that sort of unrealistic expectation, because all it's going to do is it's seriously going to harm your ability to become a professional, consistent trader. And you just need to think about it. If you are a trader and you do start to make good income, it's exactly what happened to me. You know, I started to make money as a trader, and then I sort of came to a level where that money was enough to sustain me. When that happens, if you leave your job, you then have to start drawing money out of your trading account. So your trading account growth suddenly drops significantly because it's growing and then you're taking money out. It's growing and then you're taking money out. So to get to that kind of level, it takes years and years and years. I'm talking 10, 15, 20 years. And some people, you know, some people do it. Some people, I don't want to say lucky, they just have like a natural maybe talent for trading, but that is a minuscule portion of traders. And it's really dangerous to think that as a new trader, you're sort of going to get to that level, because it's not going to happen. It's seriously not going to happen. It's better to start to build a consistent trading ability, trading strategy, and build slowly and build yourself into something that can sustain you if that's what you want to do. Maybe you just want to bulk your savings account. You want to do it in a safe way. Yeah, that's what trading is all about, if you want to do it long-term and professionally. So still finding support at this level. As I mentioned, I'm not really looking to change anything as yet. I would like to see the market breaking down below the lows of one of these candles. As I've mentioned, I potentially got in a little bit early on this one, took on a little bit more risk than I should have. Let's see if we do get the breakdown though. What I'm going to do is, rather than me just continuing to rabbit on, I am going to pause this video and I'll just turn it on if we make a further move up toward the stop level, or if we start breaking back down toward the entry. Okay, so the market has broke down a little bit, but what I'm really looking at is the fact that we have now broken down below this engulfing candle here and this pin bar right here, because as I mentioned, perhaps I got in a little bit too early. I was looking at everything else lining up. I really would have liked just a slightly lower close on this candle, but I was happy to take the entry. This is sort of giving me a little bit more confidence now. We've started to break down below these candles. So yeah, I'm happy to remain in the trade. Really, I would expect to see MA200 tested and potentially a stronger sell-off. The only problem is when the market has sold off this much in sort of overnight trading, over weekend trading, often you can see a bit of a retracement back up toward where it previously closed. Now, we've already had a relatively strong move up, around about 32 points, but on occasions it does continue with a strong bullish movement. But as I've mentioned, it's sort of lining up with everything I was looking for. I'm happy to stay in the trade, and I am looking for that stronger move down, MA200 zone underneath, and hopefully I can get that profit target, which is sort of 7.5 to 8 points at a minimum. But if we do start to see strong movements down, I will very likely hold on to it for, 1-to-1 risk to reward, or slightly better if I can get it. So we're still in this trade. Now, it has came down and bounced off of the MA200. I was looking for it to come down a little bit more than this, because we're reacting off of such a key resistance level. Now we've bounced back up and we're retesting at sort of previous levels of structure. If I can mark this in, let's have a look. 1, 2, and 3 right here. So at present, what I'm looking at is potentially the pullback, the finding resistance once again, and then another wave down, hopefully deeper into the 7671 zone underneath. Now, it is slightly higher risk. We have bounced off of the MA200, but because I am looking at this as sort of one of those higher probability trades, I do want to give it the sort of opportunity to bounce around a little bit I don't just want to jump in, jump out of the trade at the first sign of it starting to move against me. So we'll see how we get on. I am still looking for it to make that stronger move back down into the 7671 zone. I'm not really doing anything else with the trade at present. I'm just sort of letting it develop, letting the candles print, and hoping that it's going to sell down once again into this zone underneath. Okay, so the trade has now pressed higher. It is right up toward my stop level. There we go. I have been taken out of the trade for a loss. So we did not find resistance at these levels, which is what I was looking for. A little bit annoying. I should have taken my profits down at these levels, which I didn't do. As I mentioned, I was looking for the market to press back and then really for a stronger move down to start on the FTSE. So there we go, losing trade. I've had a good run of winning trades, so I'm not really too bothered, although the execution could have been a little bit better. I could have just taken the profits that were on the table, but that's all part of trading. I like posting losses anyway because it gives a more sort of in-depth and realistic view of trading. And I also like posting losses because invariably, within the first couple of weeks of the video being up, I get one comment from somebody telling me I don't know what I'm doing, and then I get a second comment from somebody telling me exactly how I should have carried out that trade. So it's always fun when that happens. Okay guys, so that's pretty much everything for this video. The idea of the trade was a sloping resistance level. I was hoping and looking for the weekend breakdown to have broken this level and for the bears to step in on the retest. We got the retest, we got the move down, we got the bounce, but we just didn't then get the sellers stepping in once again. Okay, so as always, I hope that was helpful. I hope you're all having a good trading week. I'm James Orr, and thank you.